ఓం శ్రీ గురుభ్యో నమః. అందరికీ నమస్కారం. In this video, let us examine what is mysticism and who is a mystic. You see, science divides existence into two categories: known and unknown. So the unknown can be known one day, and once it is known, it can become knowledge. That's what the science believes. Whereas mysticism declares and divides life into three categories: known, unknown, and unknowable. See, what is this unknowable? So mysticism says that the unknowable cannot be expressed in words. It can only be lived and experienced, but you cannot express it in any way. That's what the mysticism says. See, this mysticism, basically, this is a Greek word. It has got its roots in Greek. So it comes from the word mysterion. Mysticism comes from the word mysterion. See, as we are discussing about the unknowable, so what is this unknowable means? For example, the river merges into the ocean. So till the merger of the river into the ocean, there are two things. One is subject, one is object. The subject is river, the object is ocean. So the subject, that means the river, when it merges into the ocean, it loses all its identity and simply merges into the ocean. So what the river can know about the ocean? It cannot express anything. Similarly, the dew drop, that is soul, drops into the ocean of consciousness, universal consciousness. Then as the dew drop disappears into the ocean, the so-called soul also dissolves into the universal consciousness, losing all its identity, if at all it is there. So that's why the truth cannot be known and expressed in the words. The truth is unknowable. When once you realize that the all enlightened masters, all realized masters, they have merged and dissolved themselves into that universal consciousness and unable to express it in words. It is like this. In the time of Lord Krishna, Gopikas used to dance with Lord Krishna. So, when they are dancing with the Master Lord Krishna, just they dissolved and disappeared into the dance of Lord Krishna, singing and dancing. So, in that process, what happened? They dissolved into Lord Krishna's presence with deep love and gratitude. So, how can they express? They could not express in any way what they have experienced. So, for example, we will be seeing some Satsangs being held by the various masters in various places at various points of time. So, when the disciples go there, be with the master, and along with them, some strangers may also go and accompany them to that satsangs. So, in those satsangs, the disciples dissolve themselves, disappear themselves into that presence of the master, and in whatever he is telling, they will be absorbed in that conversation. For the others who have come there, so they'll be observing it, they'll be seeing it, but no feeling arises in them. Why it is so? What happened to the disciples has not happened to the people, to the other people who have accompanied them to those satsangs. It is because the disciples, in deep love and gratitude, dissolved into the presence of the master. Their mind is hearing the words, but their heart is absorbed in the being and presence of the master. So, what is being shared by the master to the disciples is intangible and invisible to the others, because since the disciples have related to the master, that has happened, because the others have not related to the master and do not have that much deep love towards the master. They could not absorb the presence of the master. And that is the reason why no feeling has arisen in them. So, in the days of Lord Krishna, in that tradition, this kind of satsangs are called ras. Ras means a ceremony, a sacred ceremony. So, in one of the meanings of mysticism, that mysterium, it is called mysterium in Greek. The meaning of that word is secret ceremony. So, what is happening with Lord Krishna to the disciples is ras. That means a secret ceremony. Why it is called secret? Because what is being shared in that union is invisible to others who are not related to the Master Lord Krishna. The same thing happens in the Satsangs being held by the masters all over. Only those disciples who are closely related to the master enjoy that absorption of the presence and being of the master. See, there is another root word for mysticism, that is main, M-E-Y-I-N, main. This is another root word from which the mysterium has come. What does it mean? It means to shut your mouth. The meaning of that word, main, is called to shut your mouth. See, when something unknowable is revealed, or when you see something which you cannot express, then you suddenly become dumb. You cannot express anything. So, that is called this a kind of I mean, when you see something which is unknowable, something which is mysterious. Mysterious means you cannot express it in any way. When truth happens, you cannot express it. When God happens, you cannot express it in any way. So, that which is invisible, that is which is inexpressible, and which is mysterious is the God. Suppose we want to know everything through words. See, the enlightened people who have experienced the God, they cannot express it in any way, as already said. So when you utter the word God, how can you understand that word God? So the words become very weak to contain the full content and meaning of that word God. So for those who have not tasted that, it is simply a word. It is simply a sound. But in the Satsangs, in the holy Satsangs, only those people who have tasted that nectar of God, they gather. And their sharing is invisible. It cannot be expressed in words. That is why others get disappointed at such meetings. So, when, suppose for example, let us say, how does one express anything in words? Let us say, a beautiful tree. I say, I have seen a beautiful tree. So the word beautiful tree does not contain the roots of the tree, the leaves of the tree, the sun rays falling on the leaves of the tree, the branches of the tree, the flowers of the tree, and the fragrance of such flowers. The birds who come and take shelter in the shadows of the tree, and their singing is not at all contained in that word, a beautiful tree. So, unless the other has got a taste of it, has known it before, then if he has tasted it, if he has, suppose for instance, a rose flower is there. You have seen a rose flower before. So when I say a rose flower, you can feel that from your memory. But you cannot feel God in that way. So the words fail to convey the full content, the full meaning of the unknowable. That is why it is unknowable. It can only be lived and experienced, and you can be possessed by it, and you cannot express it in any way. That is why the masters can only indicate the methods, the directions. They can give us only a direction, because there is no way to express it in words. That is why all the masters have indicated or spoke about God not in words but only in silence, in methods and directions as to how to reach that dimension. Once you are connected with the master guides you, and when you develop the intimacy with the master, in that intimacy your being absorbs something of the unknowable from the master's being, and that helps you to move forward in your journey towards the Spirit and God. So, my dear friends, whenever you have the fortune of meeting a master and able to enjoy the presence of the master, you are a living master, you are blessed. You see, it is like this. When you sit with a master in silence, in his presence, when you hear the words of him without analyzing them, without dissecting them, without any dissection, without any intellectual understanding, then the voice of the master becomes a music. The words which are flowing through him becomes a music. So when your mind hears that music, that holy music, your heart starts dissolving into the being of the master, and in those moments something invisible gets transferred to your being. See, it is like this. When an unlit candle is present besides a glowing candle, a small breeze is enough to lit the unlit candle. That's how it happens in the presence of the master. So, and what is transferred by the master to your being is beyond scriptures. That presence, that silence, which is invisible, does that, happens in that and in those moments. So, thank you.